And we are going live. Just readjust the camera so you can see me, and we'll see if some other people join. Poppy, hello. Ah, no, that was from earlier. But I sent that out to Poppy anyway. I sent that out to Poppy ASMR anyway, because I know she'll watch this back. So we will see if some other people will join the conversation. If not, we will call it off. Actually, I didn't do Instagram on my phone. That's what I was going to do. Link. Link, there we go. Just want to make sure. And save that to my story. Trevor, hello, good evening, how are you? Hope you're not much really. I thought this would just be sort of a midweek ramble, sort of let the conversation move forward. Been creating a lot more music, so you know, there's a lot more music, as you can hear. Some of it's playing in the background. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. Yeah, I've sort of been creating new audio for Lord of War and Heartache. Done a lot of medieval music and a lot for the Caravan as well. It's the Caravan music you can hear playing in the background at the moment. And I've shared it on my where it's uploaded to Google Drive, so it's stored and accessible, and you know, I can send it out if anyone wants it, really. So it is accessible for other people to use. Just need to ask and I'll send it out. There's at least a few people I've made it directly available to already, so they know who they are. So it's accessible to use and inspire them, shall we say. But yeah, as I say, there's there's three folders. In fact, I can show you on the Google Drive. I can show you on my Google Drive. Let me get my screen up. Excuse me. Screen capture off. Unlock. Make that smaller. So obviously I've split them into. I mean, that one's every single track in one folder. That's every single track I've created. So that's, you're looking at 973 files in total. But obviously there's one folder that's just called the Caravan, and that contains 461 pieces of music. Then there's Medieval, which contains 473 pieces of medieval music. And then there's one that I've just called Songs, which features 32 original songs that I wrote the lyrics for and used Suno to create them. In fact, I'm going to change the that's my that was my generic Suno. That's because I didn't put them. I hadn't put them back on there, so that will just. But we do have a playlist of. Yeah, do you know, you're not the first person to suggest that, and I've thought about. I am thinking about it, yes, because I do feel that there's playlists. There we go. I do think that it would have maybe I've not. No, it's much of the same music that's playing already on. Playing on there at the moment. So once. But as I say, this is very much the sort of soundtrack to Tales of the Caravan that's playing. Obviously, it'll include medieval music as well. But primary inspiration for the project so you know, it's potential, and it does help. I haven't really done much writing, to be honest. I've been struggling with script writing at the moment and getting ideas. I think it's because, you know, I'm not really getting the response that I possibly hoped for in regards to the project. You know, getting in, finding people to be involved. I'm really enjoying it. You know, it really has opened a new door, because it means I can make music for, you know, the project without having to worry about copyright or you know, it's all original music that is original to my creation, so it does have that advantage. And of course, you know, but you know, I'd like to find people to help me take on characters and things like that for the project. It's a voluntary project, so you know that it's completely voluntary, because it's obviously a non-profit project that I've been working on for nearly 6 years now. You know, so it's a passion project. I've been very passionate about it for the past 5.5 years at least. You know, keeping Maximus busy. You know, if I had a voice changer on this thing, I'd you know, okay, we'll do it now. Keeping Maximus busy. Let's hear it. Let's hear the words from him, from the man himself. I've turned up the volume of the audio.
Keeping Maximus.
Oh, something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong with the audio. I don't. Hopefully you can hear me still. I still seem to have microphone. Yeah, exactly. I'm playing with a number of. Yeah, it did work then. Oh, there goes the music. Yeah, no, it's okay. My audio recording program Audacity had a message come up, and I thought there was some problems with it. So, and apparently I have frozen. So let me just. I'm going to deactivate and reactivate the camera. There we go. So yeah, lost camera for a second there, but quick reactivation, deactivation does the trick. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you know, I'm excited for the next year, creatively speaking, and I'm thinking of turning it into a game as well. The storyline that is the world. There's enough lore now, but I can actually turn it into something tangible as well. And I've got all the I've shown it before. I've got all this artwork and, you know, lore and everything now, and I think I can possibly consider, you know, making it free to download and free to play, But creating a PDF booklet of gaming rules, and using some of my artwork and things like that to create a game that people can participate in, play. Whether or not it'll be a tabletop game, a card game, or live action role play, I don't know, because I'm not very skilled with. I play Warhammer 40,000, and that's about it. So creating, I've got Dungeons and Dragons books, and I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. They're quite old editions, so I'm not up, and I've never played anything like Magic the Gathering, anything like that. So I'd have to find people to help me out with the design aspects, and I've got all the art. I've designed all the artwork. It's incredible. And I'm still creating artwork as well. There's plenty more artwork on the way for my ideas, because I've obviously got all these different digital tools that I can use to create imagery and all that. So in the long run, I want to get the storyline moving forward again. I want to introduce new characters, new concepts, new elements. We've still got the Crown of the Tyrant King, still got the vampires. So Maximus, Lord Volkov, his father, Boris. We've still got the Shadow Court, so Corvus, the leader, Orion, Rafik, causing trouble still. There's still a lot of characters that are going to return, recurring characters that I plan to bring back into the storyline. But as I say, I want to introduce a lot of new characters as well. Before Christmas, I introduced 2 characters that I voiced, Jacob and Jeremiah. They're they call themselves businessmen, but they think they're rivals to Maximus in criminality, but they don't have a clue. They think they're geniuses, but really Maximus knows how to outsmart them, and I've already voiced them. There's a lot of characters I do voice, and as I've said before, I want to bring Maximus to life on the screen. I actually want to don the costume and perform him. I've done him once in chapter 16, so he has appeared on camera once, but not since that one time. It was interesting to do, I won't deny that, but I think what I want to do is actually bring him to life a lot more. He deserves to be brought to life. Yeah. And of course, if I could find other characters, because there's a lot of female characters. So if I could find some more people to help me out in that capacity, that would be fantastic. It really would, because it would help to expand the world. And of course there are a lot of male characters as well, but I don't want to dominate the male role specifics with myself as all the males. I want other people to voice. I want other male performing artists to perform the other male characters. I don't want to be the exclusive male voice. I've got my established characters. I voice Maximus, of course, Rafik, Volkov, Boris, other members of the Vampire Council. Who else do I voice? Trajan, Cleo and Trajan. Cleo, beautifully voiced, of course, by Guinevere Pendragon. If you're out there, if you're watching, that's for you. And I do miss portraying Trajan. I have, with Guinevere, she performs Cleo so beautifully. What else? Who else? Obviously Jeremiah and Jacob. Giggly. Who else have I voiced? I've voiced quite a few male characters throughout the project, but at the end of the day they've all got my voice, and I would love to bring some variety to the for voices and live action performances. Really give some of the characters some real life. I think that would be incredible. Sorry if I'm going a lot. I'm thinking, I'm rambling, so it's not prepared. I haven't really prepared anything for tonight. It was just, I thought I'd go live, talk, chat. I was going to say chalk, but I guess that could be slang for chat and talk. Chalk. I have no idea what I'm thinking at that moment. But you understand what I mean. Basically, I do sometimes worry that people grow tired about me talking about my projects, but I'm so passionate about it. When you've put 5.5 years of work into building an entire world, we've only scratched the surface, because the story takes place in the majority on the continent of Monarca. The only other continents that have been mentioned are the continent of Era, YRA, which is the frozen continent where the nation of Tundrulla is located, and the continent of Drakara, which has actually featured in the project, because it's the continent where the nation of Draconis is situated, which is the nation of the dragons. And I have voiced the Dragon Lord and the Dragon Minister for a couple of stories, and I would like to get back. I would like to try and voice them again. I'd like to return to Draconis, because the dragons do have a role to play, and also I want to do more with the Legend of the Tyrant King as well. I want to do flashbacks. There was one chapter I did where we actually did have Maximus think back to when because he actually fought with the Tyrant King, because Maximus is over. He'd never forgive me for giving away his age, but he's nearly 800 years old. He looks in his early 40s, but he's actually nearly 800 years old. So he fought in the army of the Tyrant King. He actually held the rank of captain, and he was actually in the final battle, the Battle of Cully, when Vander Mindstorm and the rebels defeated the Tyrant King and his armies in the desert, which is how the crown of the Tyrant King became lost. And of course the crown was recovered 600 years after that, and Maximus has been pursuing it ever since, because it landed in the what's the word? Stewardship or curatorship of Governor Delaware, who is or was the current governor of the Desert Realm, only for it to be lost again. There's a lot of lore, because I've written an entire novel, 818 pages, and a lot of chapters, and it's all written in first person about the Maximite Guild, which is Maximus's own criminal syndicate. He founded it, but it follows the character of Arabella Hogg, who becomes... Well, I don't want to give too much away, because if I ever get it out there, I want people to read it and see what they think. But I've also done a novella which covers some of the lore as well, and I did write a script for a comic book as well, which I think would be fun to produce, because the potential is there, and it's different ways of covering the lore, but also expanding on the story and keeping the story moving from different perspectives. So each of these stories will all take place in different time frames. In fact, if I recall correctly, the Maximite Guild novel takes place before the Crown of... Is it before or during when the Crown is discovered? I can't remember. I need to go back through it, to be honest. It's a long novel, and it might have to be split into 2 books. I may have to split it into 2 books to make it palatable to read, so if I can get it shortened and into 2 volumes, then I think I may be onto something there. But it's finding the sort of halfway point. Where do you stop the first book and carry on with the second book? Because it's kind of it's finding the right balance, really. My hair is sticking up tonight. Just changing the subject. Oh well, could be worse. Probably need a haircut. I kind of want to focus. I love focusing on characters. I love focusing on storytelling. I love focusing on world building. My world has its own politics, currency, belief system, philosophy. It's got major cities, it's got towns, it's got villages, it's got ports, it's got, there's a whole land that's cursed, there's a whole nation that's cursed, that's covered in the novel, but I want to take the story into the cursed land of Shadowmire. I want to introduce on screen things like devil wasps and creepers and lurkers, shark tiles, night crawlers, which are sort of rat men, but they have scaly skin, Shark tiles are actually sharks crossed with reptiles. In fact, I can show you what they look like. Where are we going? Creatures. I can show you what some of these creatures look like. So I'm just going to scale myself down, and we're going to go through the. So you've got Adamantine Beast, Annihilation Beast. These are sort of cousins of each other. Quite horrific, quite powerful. They're mutants. They are mutants. They're sort of mutated dragons. Then you've got the Blood Wolf. That's an alpha. That's a regular wolf, Blood Wolf. Bonehounds. They are outcast from Blood Wolf packs because they're incredibly dangerous, even to other Blood Wolves. Chimera, Colossi, Corrupted Warrior. Now this is a creeper agent. Creepers are sort of insectoid-like creatures that dwell in caves, but they do come to the surface. So ancients are normally the oldest of a clan. They live in clans. An assassin speaks for itself. They have the ability to merge into the background, become invisible. That is a brute, speaks for itself. Glider, again, speaks for itself. Healer, pretty much. Juvenile, which means they're just a young creeper, hasn't found their place in creeper society yet. Lord, they're basically the leaders of creeper clans. Again, mage, obvious. Not so obvious, a merchant, but they are the traders, so they are the most common that come to the surface. That's a noble. They answer to the Lord, the Creeper Lord, and work with the Creeper Lord, normally forming like a council. Scout, they never land, they're always flying. Skyriders, they again never land, but they are also hunters. Strikers, they can't really fly. They use their wings for jumping, and can also use their wings to strike and knock people down. But yeah, they're not really capable of flight like Skyriders and Scouts. Toxicus, basically what it says, they have toxic ichor, or toxic slime, that they put into crystals, and they can throw the crystals which smash and spread the toxins, sorry, I should say. So that's a Toxicus, and your standard warrior, really. Then we've got Dark Griffin, Dark Kestrel, Death Eagle, Death Falcon. These all pretty much speak for themselves, really. Hawk. Now we're on to the Devil Wasps. They are sentient wasp-like beings. So if you're not a fan of wasps, look away now. That's an ancient, a brawler, which is fast, So brawling, brute speaks for itself. Elite, they answer directly to the queen, so they're sort of the nobility of the hive. Executioner, juvenile, obviously. Mutant, they have mutants that they use as guards, and they're normally due to some sort of genetic manipulation. Devil wasps are known for experimenting with trying to improve their kind, make them more human. Hive Queen, the most powerful in the hive. That is a royal guard, so that protects the queen. So that's a royal guard. Striker, fast, elite, powerful, carries single-handed weapons. Warrior normally carries a blunt instrument, and that's a worker, which are just your basic sort of, literally what the title says. Dragon Ancient, dragons without wings, basically. Dragon Brute. Some dragons in this world don't become the dragons that you think of. Some of them take on sort of bipedal or bipedal characteristics and take on a more humanoid form. They can still breathe fire, but they don't develop wings, and they occupy the continent of Drakara, and they do coexist with humans. They do coexist peacefully with humans on Drakara, but they have issues with the Ondarian monarchy. Dragon Warrior, which are normally the most powerful and respected dragons, so they're normally the elite. Again, they can breathe fire, but they are stronger and faster than some. Some of them become brutes, but many of them just become warriors. And of course, you've got your classic dragon. What's that? Elemental Phoenix, so fire and water. Phaedric Beasts. These protect the city of Phaedra, the lost city of Phaedra. So these are constructs built. Many of these are constructs that are built during the Antaeus Empire, which is over 50,000 years prior. So some of these constructs are 50,000 years old. So that's a Phaedric Beast. That's another one. And aquatic version. Not sure, but it's a Phaedric Beast. Another Phaedric Beast. And again. And some of these are actually creatures whose origins are unknown, because the creatures that they're adapted from are extinct. So Phaedric Beasts in their form are sort of the last of their kind, but they were adapted by the Antaeus Empire to protect the city of Phaedra. So it's unknown what they were originally, because there's nothing alive that matches them. Goblins are irregular goblins, they exist in the world. Griffins are slightly different to griffins in are ideal of them. Harridan of the forest. These are what adamantine and annihilation beasts become if they basically don't become adamantine or annihilation beasts. Harridans are much weaker, much less powerful, but still dangerous, still very, very dangerous. A Leotard is kind of like a cat version of a lichen, really. And of course we do have lichens. Lurkers are insectoid creatures. So ancients are the oldest of a lurker hive. Lurkers have a much more bestial, sort of a cross between bestial, reptilian, insectoid appearance. So that's a brawler, brute, glider, mage. If they can create fire in their hands, they literally become a mage. Warrior. Then of course you've got your lichens, which are your werewolves, and that's a feral werewolf. Ferals are much more dangerous than standard lichens. Lichen overlord, they're normally the biggest of the lichens, and they normally lead multiple packs. They don't just lead one lichen pack. They are sort of the strongest of the lichens. That's a lichen pack, obviously. Female lichen, male lichen warrior. Night Stalker, that should be an ancient. We can fix that. So they're sort of reptilian, rat-like creatures. Brawler, mage, scout, tunnel runner, warrior, and then of course you've got your sort of animals. Obsidian panther, orcs exist in the world, salamanders, another salamander, different types of scorpion, green, black, red. It says sapphire, but it's blue. White scorpions are fake because they're actually servants of the deity Pelnat, so they're chaotic, really. Ancient shark tile, aquatic, much more akin to a shark than what they are. Shark tile brawler, so they're sort of shark crossed with rodent crossed with reptiles, hence shark tile. That's a brute, scout, striker. That's a tunnel runner. Basic warrior. Sclader-like mutant humans who were betrayed by the Ondarian monarchy, the Antis Empire even, and they're bitter about it. Just your regular steed. Horses exist in the world. Tree spirits, they're a thing. Trolls are a thing as well, as are unicorns. Ursus Maritinus warriors are from Tundra. Obviously they're bear-like creatures, and they work with the humans of Tundra as well. They very rarely leave Tundra unless they're on a diplomatic mission. Warhounds, pretty much what you see. Wolves of the Moon, again, pretty much what you see, and that's it. That's the creatures. I'm going to bring that back up. So yeah, that's the creatures. I mean, we've got the characters as well. Elementals, entities. The elementals are pretty much air, light, dark, earth, fire, water. There's nothing really in it more complicated than that, really. I mean, you've got the entities as well. You've got your mages. I have thought about it, really. I mean, the entities themselves. Let me bring that back down. I mean, you know, we've got undead mage, angel of darkness, angel of destruction, angel of the desert, bone grinder, bringer of grudges. These are the entities, you know, bringers of the word, whatever the word is. Broken are literally humans that are broken. Celestial watchers, children of the forest, they're actually sprites, they're not actually children. Children of the night, again, they're sprites as well, that take on childlike forms. Chosen, no one really knows what chosen are or why they are. Golden daughters are one of the sort of humanoid guardians. They themselves may be psychic constructs. I've not really delved into the lore of Phaedra as such, but they do have golden guardians as well, which are steam-driven, lightning-driven robots. Corpse grinders, they're basically zombies, not Sklade. Crypt walkers, again, zombies, not Sklade. Cursed Valkyrie, speaks for itself, really. Her wings have merged with her arms rather than being separate. Demon Paladin, Demonicus, Dark Guardian, yeah, speaks for itself. Dark Phoenix again. That's called Dark Possession, but it's more than that. It's something that's a bit of a mystery, and the mages of Ondar, the mages of Ondar, I should say, yes, that's it, are investigating it. It's something that Grand Mage Arton is particularly interested in finding the truth behind. Then Dark Sepulchre. Yeah, I mean, some of these are really, really dark, you know. But these are entities. These are not living beings. They're very much about sort of. They cover the sort of supernatural side of the Ondarian monarchy. I mean, you get ethereal warriors, fallen, which are connected to vampires. So there's a lot of this. A lot of these entities don't have lore as such. I haven't written lore for them yet, but I will do. So, you know, there's a lot to cover, but it will be. See, that should be fire golem, because that should be a fire golem. Yeah, golden host. As you can see, I've got a lot of things named and artwork created for, but never actually covered. So it's a lot of no, I think the Shadow Lord and all that come under so we got Madness Incarnate. Did he come under Heroes? Where did we go down? So yeah, a lot of this will be covered in the lore, but the heroes are very much characters that are featured in Lord of War and Heartache, Tales of the Caravan. So you've got Ariana, Arik, Callisto the Acrobat, Harold the Jester, Lorana the Sword Swallower, Nefertira the Snake Charmer, Tanith the MC, and then you've got continent spirits, Antumnos, I should say, Bodiakos, Bricta, Helvetia, Nait, Ogmios, Sagos, Sledge, he's the spirit of the Lycan, Sukelus, Sunartiu, and then you've got Arlena, Arendella, Elena, Shai. Then you've got the deities Destron, Larun, Iktar, Pelnat. Now the deities have their own lore: Shade, Varuna, Verena, Crate, Yavola, Toranax, Kellen, Carnage, Viro, Seducer, Bermuda, Grimwald, Kalen, Sil, Shern, Shrone, Beltarn, Marak, I should say, Plius, Tratus, who is also the first vampire, Harvol, Portrus, Ranver, Baltrex, Quelox, Radkin, Tyrannus, and Serpentira. There is a 34th deity, but not included in this collection. As I say, the deities have their own lore, so they're covered elsewhere. And then, of course, you've got Desert Rebels, Faye, Quern, Lady Klaus, and Lord Klaus were a bit of a piece of humour that I did for a friend who wanted to see the artwork, and I liked them, so I thought I'd keep them for Winter Embertide festivals. Aramulthea, a Dreamwalker. Interesting thing about Aramulthea is she is actually Calvari. They come under ancient races, the Calvari, but she is actually Calvari, and I will cover more. Keridwen, Chimera, he's a powerful demon controlled by Lord Volkov. The Dream Witch. I included Krampus again because I thought if I'm going to have a character called Lord Klaus and Lady Klaus, I need Krampus. Master of Misery, Morrigan. I thought I'd take inspiration there from Celtic lore, so the Morrigan features. Nemesis, Nightmare Lord. Shadow Lord is a character that has featured in Lord of War and Heartache, voiced by me. This is one in what's the word I'm looking for? Representation of the Shadow Lord. Soul Reaper. I have voiced him for the Lost Voices project, but he will make a proper appearance. the Spectral Antaeus Emperor, so that's basically the last of the emperors of the Antaeus Empire before it fell. Watcher pretty much speaks for itself, usually associated with shade. Garen of Trigon. Hello there, Garen of Trigon here. Geoffrey of Trigon. No. This is a bad business, but we're not the only ones in it. I'm Geoffrey of Trigon, and this is my story. Yeah, I could never get Geoffrey's voice settled down. It goes over everywhere, but that's okay. Anira and Loretta, as beautifully voiced by Guinevere Pendragon, as is Cleo. Trajan, Grand Mage Artem, wears a mask because he was injured nearly fatally many years ago. Grimwald the Wise, he's a dwarf. Han the Seer, she's ethereal. Hakim the Enlightened, he's a Desert Realm mage. The Historian, not really anyone knows much about him, he's a bit of a mystery. Arabella Hogg, of course, of the Maximite Guild. Octavia, who is the Remembrancer of the Guild. And Vala, who is the Chief Weaponsmith of the Guild. And then Yolanda is the strategist of the Guild, although she doesn't feature in the novel that I've written about the Maximite Guild. If I write a follow-up, she will feature in the follow-up. At the moment it's pretty much Maximus, Arabella, Octavia and Vala. I didn't want to overdo too much, and then of course you've got initiates as well: Athena, Nova, Seraphina, Gideon's a merchant. Then you've got the innkeeper, who's nameless. Jeremiah Huntington, yeah, he's a character you don't want to get involved with. Governor of the Desert Realm, so that is actually Delaware, Governor Delaware. Eldrad of Ondar, Isambard Stanwyck, who is a rival to Maximus, but not in a criminal sense, in a business sense. Sir Reginald Butler, who I originally had entitled as the Happy Guest, and you can see why. And he's actually, I have to say, I quite like him. He's quite a good character, because he is a good person. He's not a villain or anything. He's not a villain. He is pretty much, and he's not comic relief either. He is a genuine character, but he's very proud of his collection of cheese. He has one of the finest collections of cheeses in the Ondarian monarchy. A version of Rafik, of course. Algernon, Emperor Algernon of Drakara. So he is the ruler of Drakara. He's not actually an emperor, but he has the title. Vandermine Storm, after he became king. Deceased, of course, in the lore. Princess Persephone, who is the heir apparent to the current monarch, and the monarch is always unknown. Since the assassination of Vandermine Storm, the identity of the monarch has always been a closely guarded secret. Only the crown prince or princess is known. There is a reason for that in the law, but I haven't disclosed that yet, mainly because I haven't really thought how to explain it, but I'll think of a way. The last Antaeus Emperor, I should say, So that one you saw in the entities, that's basically the ghost of him, the Tyrant King, with his crown. And the crown actually changes appearance to whoever owns it or holds it, so it never looks like the same crown for everyone else. Corvus of the Shadow Court, Orion of the Shadow Court, Catalina, who betrayed Maximus, Bloodheart, he's a vampire of some strength. Not introduced him into the story yet, but he is a rival to Maximus for the crown. He's chasing the crown as much as Maximus is. The difference is he has to rely on his artificial heart, which is here in the centre of his chest. So he is literally if that gets damaged, it's game over for him. Justina, who is voiced beautifully by Rosea ASR. Oscar, who is voiced by me. Paldrock, who is voiced by me. All the Vampire Council are voiced by me. So Algar, Aranax. Ah, you see, this is Beardvold Boris, who is the second in command to Lord Volkov, and answers directly to his lordship. And as you know, Maximus does not like him at all. He finds Boris to be officious and somewhat boring. So that's Boris, Karek, Strak, Tarvek, the Ancient One, who is not the first vampire, but he's one of the older vampires.
Santa Jericho, who I can only voice for so long before it makes my throat begin to hurt.
And then of course I lower it down to 30 in pitch, which makes his voice even deeper, and even so
I can only keep this voice up for so long. That is why he does not appear that often in the storyline.
And you can imagine why. Siren Volkov, Lord Volkov with hair. Lord Volkov officially doesn't really have hair. Maximus, or an interpretation of Maximus, Valeria Volkov, another of his sisters. Siren and Valeria are his two sisters, and Valna is his younger brother. Maximus is the oldest of the Volkov children, at nearly 800 years old. Dragon Lord is actually the ruler of the dragons. The Dragon Emperor, or the Emperor of Drakara, rules the continent, but the Dragon Lord rules the dragons. It gets a bit complicated, and the Dragon Minister answers directly to the Dragon Lord, not the Emperor. So that's the heroes. That's what I've called the heroes. These are Calvari. They're subterranean dwelling humanoid creatures that dress in white and black, very monotone, with very little sort of coloration except for the gems that they wear. I've never really covered much about the Calvari There's some more sort of Calvari before their civilization fell, or they were driven underground, I should say. But Disciples of Iron are ancient steampunk sort of robot sort of like things that were enslaved and then gained sentience and started to resent their human masters, and therefore resent the Ondarian monarchy to this day. So they're as much a threat to the Ondarian monarchy as the vampires. And then of course you've got the dwarfs. So you've got they rule the city of Trigon. So you've got your dwarven engineers and their different outfits, male and female. And then you've got sort of your generic, just everyday dwarven citizens. Your dwarven military, your berserker, bolt brethren, bombardier with hand cannon, forge guardian with flame cannon, Gatling warriors with their Gatling guns, grumblers with their crossbows, hammerites with their hammers. Hunters, their crossbows are faster to load and reload, to shoot and reload, I should say. Stormbringers with lightning guns, Vulcan Child with guns that shoot superheated magma, and your basic dwarf warrior. And then of course you've got your elves, and they take on different forms and appearances. So the elves obviously exist in the world. There's at least different types of elf. So we'll just skip through them. Then you got your Fae, which some people call fairies, but I prefer to use the term Fae. So citizen. That's the Queen, obviously. And then you've got your Plague Fae, which are sort of like your Dark Fae. And they sort of have reds, purples, blacks in their colour scheme. And they're a bit more gothic in their appearance. And then you've got your Valkyries. I think that's it. I mean, humans are the most numerous, so humans are your most numerous, so you'll just see a lot of human stuff. You've got your desert raiders, mages, explorers, forest dwellers, bandits, military, healers, merchants, quite a few merchants. There's the military stuff, citizens, peacekeepers, different elements of humanity, really. Humanity is probably the most numerous race in the in the world. And of course, you've got your vampires, which that's actually a vampire. This one is actually a vampire ancient. Where's my preview? Preview pane. There we go. So that's actually a vampire that's completely surrendered to its bat-like form, but it's much more horrific. But yeah, that's basically a vampire that's succumbed completely to the vampire curse. So it's called a vampire ancient. But there's a lot of different types of vampire as well. We can just quickly have a look at the elementals. I mean, this is what I meant when I said there's a lot of elementals. I mean, you know, you've got 8 representation of 8 of the 8 different representations of each element. So you've got air, darkness, earth, fire, light, and water. That should actually be an entity. A daughter of darkness should be an entity, not elemental. That's in the wrong folder, so we'll fix that. There we go. And then of course we got artifacts as well. You know, quite a few artifacts. Because I'd love to, as I say, this is the artwork I'd love to turn into a game mechanic or dynamic. So, you know, you've got all these different artifacts and things. And then of course you've got domains, which are your lands and your cities. See, that should be City of Lioness, not City of Avalon. It's amazing what you find and change as you go. But yeah, there's some places here that are mentioned only here, you know. Some are cities, some are continents. And you've got enchantments, which you got 8. You got the 8 continents. You know, it's all there. It really is all there. And you know, I am so you know, excited for this because it really does have potential. It really, I mean, sorcery as well. You know, there's sorcery as well. The potential is huge. But it's working out how to put it all together. So it might just be a lore book, and you know, with potential for later adaptation. There's some there that I need to work on and improve. Yeah, absolutely needs to just be pulled together and built up. You know, the potential is huge. And as I say, this is all sort of culminating of 5 years of creative. And now I'm including music to the mix, you know. I mean, we've got, how many cities have I got listed now? I have 21 cities, 3 ports, and 1 village listed. And I've also got what I've called anonymous cities, so it's basically just generic artwork that I can use anywhere really. I can make it any city I want really, so that's nice. Same with the ports. Oh, excuse me. You know, so it really is something. It's grown into something incredibly special that I'm really, really happy with. And I know some people I'm sure some people become, you know, why am I so passionate about it? I just am. You know, I started it out as something I never thought would grow to be this big, and I never thought it would reach an entire world. You know, it started out as an idea that I didn't think would get past the first chapter, but in reality it's grown beyond that. It's really grown into something incredible, and I am so happy that I've been able to share it thus far, but I want to continue sharing it. That's the thing. I really do want to continue sharing it. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to leave it there. It's gone 10:30 my time, GMT, so I'm going to say a big thank you to everyone for joining me, and I probably will go live again Saturday. I'm busy tomorrow night and Friday night, so Saturday will probably be the day I go live again. So until then, it leaves me to say thank you, good night, and I will see you again later. Bye for now.